Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I apologize for how long it's been since I posted a video, but if you look at the size of the book, it's almost 800 pages. You'll understand why. Now, Gen X here, Margaret Thatcher, her nickname was the Iron Lady. She was someone I looked up to because she was so powerful. She didn't take crap from men. But yet she retained a femininity that was missing from that age. And so when I saw this book and I heard it was the definitive book on her, I bought it and read it. And let me tell you, it is the definitive book on her. That's why it took me so long. I was not the intended audience for this. This book is for someone who loves British politics, is even British, um, from the United Kingdom, is doing a dissertation, a paper on Margaret Thatcher. That's the audience. If you want just the basics, there are other biographies out there. Now, the reason why this is so intense is because who it's by, Jonathan Aitken. He dated Margaret Thatcher's daughter, so he had that inside thing. He was also a member of Parliament, of her cabinet, of her party. So he knew the ins and outs. And the reason why I read this book is because I love The Crown. But she was not portrayed. Gillian Anderson, the actor, did a great job portraying her. But Margaret Thatcher was not portrayed very nicely. And I just wanted to see if my memory was off of her or if I just didn't know the inside story. So this is called Margaret Thatcher, Power and Personality. So she goes back, like I said, to 1979 when she became the first female British Prime Minister of Great Britain. And it starts in the beginning. She grew up during the World War II, so Winston Churchill, who I'm related to, BT Dubs, was the Prime Minister at the time. So she modeled her um, term terms. She served 2.5. She was elected 3 times, but didn't serve her full third term. So she based it on his because in the late 70s, just like America, the economy was tanking. The world was, now I realize how similar it is. The world was in turmoil and she needed to be tough. I did not realize how much the unions of the time basically held on to the economy and was the reason why the economy was not doing so well. She also was steadfast in not joining the European Union, which Brexit has now happened. So Great Britain was a part of the European Union and then decided to break away. So she would have been happy with Brexit because she believed that the United Kingdom was its own power. And I have to disagree with her on that because we're too global now. We can communicate much faster. So we're truly a global economy now, whether people want to admit that or not. So I do it. This was a fun trip down memory lane when she was talking about Chancellor Helmut from Germany. I remember him, Ronald Reagan, Gorbachev, President of France, Mitterrand. I, that that was a good memory. What they didn't talk about were things like Lockerbie, because she was friends with the Saudis. They really liked her despite her being a woman in the early 80s. They really liked her forthrightness, I guess. And, Ronald Reagan seems to get credit for breaking down the Soviet Union, but after reading this book, it was definitely Margaret Thatcher because I remember Nancy Reagan, our first lady, and Reza Gorbachev, the first lady of the Soviet Union, hated each other. Like they couldn't even look at each other. It was great. It was drama. I loved it. But Margaret Thatcher was the one who went to Russia for the first time since, pre-World War II, and just created this really nice relationship. So I give it 3 stars, mainly because it was a lot, and I had to Google a lot because I'm not familiar with the British government. Sorry. But I am now. So if you're interested in learning about this time period, um, go ahead. But if you just want to know a little bit more about the person, I highly recommend looking at another book. But he treats her so kindly. He didn't marry her daughter, but they kept their relationship professional during that time. And then towards the end of her life, he was there for her. And even in death, she was the Iron Lady. So, again, this is Margaret Thatcher, Power and Personality. Like, share, or subscribe.